Hi, this is Jyoti here. Welcome to Jopad Tech Guru. In today's session, I'm going to discuss regarding constant in C Sharp. You might be aware about the constant which we used to use it in C and C++. The same concept is utilized in C Sharp also. Here also we are having const constant to declare a constant variable. So as per the agenda, I'm going to discuss what is constant in C Sharp and I'm going to illustrate you with different practical examples. So let us start the discussion. So what is constant in C Sharp? Constant is nothing but a variable of which the value is constant but at compile time. So you might be aware about the two different concepts which are there in case of constants. There is compile time as well as runtime. Currently, I am discussing the compile time. So in case of compile time, we have got constant as a variable which is going to get stored and which is going to get utilized in the compile time. It is mandatory to assign a value to it. So whenever you are declaring a constant, you have to initialize it. By default, a constant is static and we cannot change the value of a constant variable throughout the entire program. The main intention of declaring the constant is to have a standard value or a constant value that I can use it throughout the program. If you keep on changing the variable value, then there is no use of constant. A variable whose value cannot be changed during the execution of the program is called a constant variable. We cannot assign values to the constant variable at runtime. Instead, it must be assigned at the compile time. So some of the important points about constant in C Sharp. It must be assigned a value at the time of declaration. So whenever you are declaring the variable within the program, at that time it need to be initialized. Just like int constant x equal to 10. Constant only allow constant variables into the expression. So many a times we'll be having calculations. Many a times we'll be doing some mathematical operations with respect to constants. So in this example, you can observe that we have got constant x equal to 10, constant y equal to 20. So now if I want to have z equal to x plus y, then if z is a constant variable, you can store the mathematical operations related to x and y within the z. So suppose int k equal to 1 and int constant p equal to k plus y. So you can observe that k is not a constant, but p is a constant. This is going to give us the compile time error as p is non-constant. Constant can be declared at the class level as well as inside the method. Constant cannot be declared using static keyword because they are by default static. So whenever you are declaring a constant, it should be declared only with the data type, something like int constant x equal to 10. You should not declare it with static keyword because the default nature of the constant itself is static. Constants are absolute constants in which their value cannot be changed or assigned at the runtime. So during the execution time, you cannot change the value of the constant. Constant variables are compile time variables. So let us see with an example. To honor the time, I have already written the program here. In this program, we have got The first declaration of constant is like this, in which I'm going to declare constant string s1. As you can observe that if I don't initialize it, it is going to show me an error. Once you move the cursor, it is showing you that a constant field requires a value to be provided. The variable s1 is declared but never used. So it need to be initialized. So now suppose if I'm initializing it and then if I want to print it. Here I have stored constant string s1 equal to India and I'm going to print that s1. Let me execute the program. So we are expecting India as the output. So you can observe that I'm getting India here. There is no problem with this demo too, as we have already initialized the constant with India. So now in the third demo, we are going to declare a constant variable s1 equal to India. Now using this constructor, this is a default constructor. Using this constructor, I want to initialize the value. So here, if I'm going to initialize the value, and suppose if I'm changing that value, again it is going to show you an error because through the constructor, you cannot change the value which is there within the constant. So S1 equal to India will be a standard value which is getting stored throughout the program. With the help of a default constructor or a parameterized constructor, I cannot change the value. So if you move the cursor, it is going to show you that the left hand side of an assignment must be a variable, property or indexer. So you cannot initialize the constant variable within the default constructor or within the parameterized constructor. Now, in the second example, here I want to do some mathematical operations. So suppose if I'm having two constants, I want to add those two constants and I want to display it. Here I have declared A as constant which is holding 10 value, B constant which is holding 20 value, C is a constant in which I'm doing B plus A. If you are printing the C value, we are expecting 30 here. So there is no problem with this program as all the variables are constant here. So we are getting 30. So suppose if I'm going to take out this constant, now also I'll be getting this 30 value within this C. So coming back to the discussion, here you can observe that constant can be declared at the class level as well as inside the method. Constant cannot be declared using static keyword because by default it is already static. And constants are absolute constants. You cannot keep on changing the value, that too during runtime. Constant variables are compile time variables. You have seen the same discussion within the program also. So when to use the constant? The constant is used when its value is absolutely constant, such as pi values. Suppose if you are having pi r square or any mathematical operations within the program. So pi is a constant, 3.142, something like this. You can store it, which cannot be changed every now and then throughout the program. But according to your needs, you can use it as you wish rather than declaring pi values. So as per requirement, you can declare it, and as per your requirement, you can keep on changing the value. So the types of constants currently we have discussed is compile time. So in our next video, we are going to discuss regarding the runtime. Hope this video is useful for you, as you might be learning a lot of things within the C Sharp. Please do refer to my other videos wherein you are having different C Sharp tips and tricks, as well as .NET Core I have introduced in the other videos, and HTML and other things are also getting discussed over there. So please do subscribe to my channel. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.